Welcome, chat, to the official Genshin Impact Honkai Star Rail very first official lore night. We are going today to be looking through all of your submissions on the lore and theories that you guys are eating up. The top 3 will win a monthly pass in either Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, because I love to reward people who take the time to help me make content and talk about fun stuff. Now listen, my goal today is to not yap and not go down any deep dark holes. You know, because I did do the Boot Hill quest last night and I already was in a deep dark hole, if you know what I mean. Well, I became the deep dark hole. But today we are going to try to keep it on script, you could say, in the wise words of Elio. I will talk about theories that I have any idea about or my thoughts, but I'll keep it as brief as I can so that we can get through as many as possible. If you are watching this on YouTube, though, I would love to hear in the comments what your favorite theory is from today. And also, feel free to join us on another lore night, I can't speak today, by coming over to Twitch and joining us in chat and submitting your theories or joining the Discord. All that information is in the description down below, and everything you need to know. And we're going to get right into it and not waste any time. All right, so you guys, I made a channel in the Discord. Y'all submitted your theories. Some of them are yaps, some of them are short. Kind of, I'm down for both. We're going to get through as many as possible. All right, here we go. From Arya, Genshin Impact. I don't know if anyone mentioned it before, but when wishing a single wish, we still get 2 falling stars. The theory, / maybe it's already confirmed, maybe it's well duh thing, is that the people of Conria did a single wish for someone to help them, and what fell were 2 stars, 1 gold, aka Aether, and 1 blue, aka Lumine. That's interesting because we do have like Conrian lore that like supports the idea of like them wanting like multiple descenders, or like the idea of descenders and them being like more than even like 4 like multiple outlanders, and like the wishing being tied to them is interesting, especially with Dane's little ending thing of like, oh, they like did they say, does Dane say in the Teyvat chapter preview they wish to dream, or no, they dream of dreaming? Maybe it's connected somehow. I feel like if we go back to the Yoimiya part 2 story quest, because there was a lot about like shooting stars there, I wonder if there's like hints of connections there. Even though we don't think that that story quest is that important to the lore, you never know. They could be hiding some info. I think it's interesting, like Lumine being blue and not being a descender, maybe. Who knows? All right, next. 4 dots. Quad dot. I'm gonna go with that. The everything is a loop theory. Here's how it goes. The twin is stuck in a loop where they switch roles each time it restarts. Let's say you play as Aether, you travel through Teyvat, learn the truth of the world. By the end of the journey, something happens along the line of the end game that causes Lumine to fall into a coma and loses her memory. After resolving the final conflict, you wake her up and both of you decide to leave Teyvat. Then, Unknown God blocks your path, captures you in cubes. Lumine Girl gets sent 500 years to sleep, and when she wakes up, her memory is fuzzy and missing. Fishes Paimon out, thus begins her journey through Teyvat. Cycle continues. Oh. Wait, I never thought of like that being where like the loop does the loop. Of like that scene being them trying to escape the previous loop and then falling into the next one. But that's really interesting. Like we think that that time period is them running away from Conria, right? Even though we don't have anything to back that up, we assume that when they're trying to leave and the unknown god is saying the arrogation of mankind, like we assume that they're kind of running away from Conria. But that's so interesting to think like, okay, so what if that's like the loop? Like what if that is the beginning and end both of the loop? And that's actually the future where we finally find the truth, we try to run away, and we get caught by the unknown god and it starts all over again. That would mean that instead in our loop, Conria is actually like the midpoint. Or I don't even know, but it's definitely interesting. Huh. No, it kind of does make sense in a way, and I kind of hate it. I'm gonna put stars on the ones that I really, really like. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the Trailblazer have the exact same eye color and type as Nanook. Wait, what? So it's my belief that they have a connection to the Aeon of Destruction, perhaps in the way they were created to eventually confront them. Okay, this is when y'all need to include, you know, photos, because now I'm gonna have to do the research. Hold on. Trailblazer, Honkai, Star Rail. I never look at these people's eyes, which I probably should because eyes are like so important in Genshin. Oh, my laundry's done. I'm gonna use Stell because she's like the one character I actually have a really good photo of like a zoom in on her eye. JK, why can't I get this photo? Open image, new tab. Okay, there's Stell. I've never paid attention to Nanook's eyes. Is there one of him where he's not like looking scary? Hold on. I need to zoom in, chat. Huh, wait. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're definitely the same color. Like, the exact same color. The only thing is his pupil almost seems to be like a cube. But it is, they both have like a gold to yellow color eye. Oh. I kind of wonder what the symbol is. Like, because it does look like there's a symbol, and there are symbols in Acheron's eyes, too. It does look like a cube, though. It looks like a cube around the pupil. Oh, not the arm being cut off. Is there anything else, like, Nanook-wise that relates to the Trailblazer? I mean, like, they actually have very similar color palettes overall in terms of, like, grade, like, charcoal black and white. And then the destruction yellow. So, I think there's definitely a connection there. I don't know if it's, like, super strong. But I think it was a way to maybe signify also that the Trailblazer started as destruction. Yeah. Everyone in Teyvat has been reincarnated, or that Teyvat is some kind of hell. All Archons but the Tsaritsa have demon names. Wait, does the Tsaritsa not have a demon name? Or do we just not know it yet? Plus, the sky is said to be fake. Everything is controlled by a higher power, and anyone that tries to uncover the truth is dealt with. Teyvat also runs in cycles, but it can't be for no reason at all. Maybe visions are given to those that can be redeemed and won't appear in the next cycle. Archons get replaced to see who has the higher success rate in redemption, and that's why they don't really like Celestia that much. Most quests are all linked to some kind of judgment after all, and in all this, the only Archon who has a saint's name is the Tsaritsa. Her goal is directly against Celestia. The Fatui fight against it to gain some type of justice. So for me, that's my theory. Teyvat is some kind of hell, and the Samsara cycle will stop once everyone is gone. She doesn't via CBT data. She has the name of a saint? Huh. Wait, what was... Oh, I was going to say, what was Farina's demon name, but it's Falsalor is the demon name. So wait, what is the Pyro Archon's demon name? Is Murata a demon name, or is it something else? Seven, do you ever think we'll get a playable Eon or Aeon in a human form? I could see them doing like an avatar, but that's about it. Murata is AIM. Wait, Murata's demon name is AYM? Ayam? We don't know yet for Murata? Interesting. I think the idea of like Genshin being hell is definitely possible, like Teyvat, especially when you get into the whole upside down theory. But honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Genshin isn't hell, but is more purgatory. Which is like the middle, like when you're stuck. I feel like that is a more likely scenario. Like, and I think wherever Celestia's from is technically hell, and maybe the abyss is actually what is above. But we'll see. All right, Elio as an emanator of finality. Oh, 100%. 100%. Having blue eyes and white hair in a beta design, something similar to Kiana as a finality in Honkai Impact 3rd, and her blue eyes and white hair are story relevant. I haven't slept yet, can't make stream, just wanted to get it out there. Please build on this if you'd like. I 100% do think Elio could be an emanator of the finality. What I think is interesting is like we don't have a ton of information on Terminus. We did get the confirmation yesterday that the Stellaron Hunters do indeed follow under the finality, which was pretty crazy of a reveal. In terms of Terminus, though, do we even know if Terminus is alive? I don't think we know exactly like the state of Terminus currently. So it's hard to tell, but I think it's a good chance that Elio is an emanator of finality, just based on the power and like being the head of that like organization or faction, especially since someone like Diamond, who heads the IPC, is an emanator. I think that that's most likely the most likely thing to happen. We know Terminus lives backwards. Oh. Like that anime I recently watched, in the anime they collected all 16 different powers to create a person who can use them and kill a god. I'm trying not to spoil it, but maybe the Trailblazers the same use created as a vessel to harness different paths of power just to kill an Aeon, and most likely the Aeon who wants to die but can't. I think that's very much most likely what is happening, because a lot of what's talked about in the story right now is about crossing paths. They kept using that term, like, oh, our paths crossed. And if you think about it, the Trailblazer will eventually be the person where all paths align at one point, like in cross. So I think that's very much the possibility. When we look at the Harmonious Choir, the Great Septimus description, it implies it is an embodiment of the harmony, but was interfered in design and action by the Order. We look at Cocolia's description and she's merely just granted power through the Stellaron. Cocolia, much like other bosses, are just little illusions unsought of aeonic power. But I also know that Sunday's boss was granted power by the Stellaron, allegedly. When we think about it, they always say Harmony and Shipe absorbed Enna the Order. Why does it say that Enna was absorbed, yet Enna was the one who created the dream? The dreamscape is merely an illusion created by Enna. The Order is one to keep things in line, and the dreamscape looks modeled in a specific order. This is all just to prove that maybe Penacony or even the entirety of Azdana was not under the control of the Harmony Shipe at all, and was merely just led by the Order. After all, we would need Order so criminals aren't able to escape. We escape the dream of Order, much as the implications of Order being the original reign one and not Shipe. The only thing, it's difficult to tell because, like, obviously in the story of Penacony, they use the Harmony as kind of like a front. And like we don't really get a lot of like information in terms of like Shipe. We don't even have like an emanator of the harmony confirmed anywhere to kind of give us an idea of like the real truth behind Penacony. But also, the only thing that's leading me astray from this is they very much end the story of Penacony on the idea of the harmony cannot fall back into disorder in a way. Like, it seems like Himiko and all of them do believe that, like, the harmony was at play within Penacony, and it was just kind of overrun by an internal, like, affair. Kind of like Anna being internally within Shipe to some degree. So I don't know if I 100% agree. I think this is more of like a case of like, there were people within the family that are definitely under the idea of Shipe and the harmony and follow that ideal, but their ideal was led astray by like a false prophet, aka Sunday. And I think now the alignment is more to what it was originally supposed to be. I don't know. Like, we're going to have to see if we ever go back to Penacony in the future, how things develop, and like where, you know, this story goes further. It was a Dream Master who led Sunday astray. Yes, like Sunday was kind of like being whispered in a way like Colia was, by both the Stellaron and the Gopher, in a sense. And I think Sunday, I'm trying to like recall like exactly the 5 million yaps he gave. Like, I think he like started with Shipe, but then like saw the order as a way in which he gains what his version of the best ideal is, if that makes sense. Like, I believe that like at the end Sunday did truly believe what he was saying and did think, based on his view of the world, that the order was the better way to go. And Gopher would die to leave Sunday alone with the bloody hands. Once there was a Charmony Dev. Yep, remix tennis, swear to God. It'll be really interesting to see where Sunday goes from here. I really hope someone has like a Sunday theory. I would love to hear like a Sunday theory of like what happens to him after, especially after all the Jade stuff. Because they kind of left it very open-ended. So that will be really interesting. Yeah. I don't think we're done with the order necessarily either. Because a lot of these paths had multiple factions, and the order, we only dealt with one of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were more takes or like perspectives of the order that exists within the world. So, we'll see. Listen, if you have a theory, don't put it in chat. Put it in the Lore Night entry. Okay, I can't help but see parallels between Lumine and Aether and Dioscuri from the Greek myth. Okay. Ooh, give me the tea. Give me the Greek tea. Dioscuri, I'm probably butchering these names, Castor and Pollux were both born from a mortal woman, but Pollux's father was Zeus. Because of this, Castor was born completely mortal, but Pollux was a god. Okay, so Pollux and Pastor... Wait. Both were born... Wait, Pollux and Pastor are both siblings, born from a mortal woman, but their father is Zeus. So we got a girly, we got Zeus, smash, and they create Castor and Pollux. One of them is godly, which is Pollux, and Castor is mortal. They both were members of the Argonauts and took part in the hunt of the Caledonian boar. When their sister was kidnapped, they invaded and took her back, taking the daughters of the people who helped to take their sister. But they were confronted by Idus and Lynceus. Castor was murdered by Idus and Lynceus was killed... Wait. Castor was murdered by Idis, and Lynceus was killed by Pollux, while Zeus himself struck down Idis in retribution. There's so many people involved. Zeus gave Pollux the option to give up half of his immortality to give to Castor or stay in Olympus. Pollux gives up part of the immortality, and in some part of the story, this is how Gemini is created. But in other media, the way Castor becomes mortal is different. In one I know, Castor and Pollux were both gods, but over time, as the legends changed, Castor became mortal because of the stories. Basically, the world itself overwrote the fact that Castor was actually a god and made him a human, just because humans believed he was. This sounds more likely to be the case of what happens in Genshin. The world overwriting itself is giving Luma fate. And if that's true, theoretically, the Luma fate could have 100% existed within the Remirian timeline as well. We might just not know about it. And theoretically, let's say they did make the Luma fate in that timeline as well. What if Lumine was the third descender and they use the Luma fate to change that knowledge for whatever reason we don't understand currently, so that now it registers in the Irminsul tree as not? But then that would mean that Lumine is the third descender, which would mean that Lumine is the Gnosis, which would mean that Lumine is dead and not real, which would make Lumine a ghost. Huh. Lumine and Aether were both Outlanders, but now it sees that Lumine is tied to Teyvat in some way, stripped of her power and made part of the world, and it's a story in a way she can't do anything about, while her twin can't find a way to help her on his own and must look to other gods to find an answer. Given the heavy association with stars that the twins both have, it can't be a stretch that the story of Discordia, the Gemini constellation, have influence and insight. Well, we know that, like, Conria and the ancient world pull from both Greek and Roman history and, like, lore, so this is obviously possible, especially with Gemini and twins and astrology being at play. I think there's definitely something here that can be explored and, like, further delved into with, like, more knowledge and more, like, fine-tuning to really, like, hit notes. Like, I think if you took this theory and kept going, you could really, really, like, shape it into something. All right, Genshin Impact. Apep is growing to take over Teyvat from the Heavenly Principles. All right, guys, everyone grab your copium. Grab your copium drink, your copium food, your copium meal, because we're about to cook. We're about to cook. I don't know if this is going to be a good meal. Okay, that might have sounded crazy, but let me cook. Okay, the floor is yours. From what we know, Apep is one of the original 7 dragons. Doesn't have original power, hates the Heavenly Principles because they stole Teyvat from the dragons, also probably murdered her whole family. Wait, whose whole family? And probably wants to take Teyvat back and reclaim it, but how can she do this when she is one, got food poisoning? That's an interesting way of saying it. Food poisoning, aka eating forbidden knowledge because they ate Deshret. Would probably take 1,000 years to even be strong enough to face them. So here is where my theory comes in. We know Apep's children are the fungi and the Wenets, and I don't know about you, but in the newer region, after Nihida Part 2 story quest, I've been seeing fungi, at least in some way, I think. This is intentional, and here's what the fungi do when on standby / idle. From my eyes, it looks like they're absorbing energy from the ground. I think you know where I'm going with this, or at least I hope you do. Apep has connection to her children, so I see this as one or two ways. 1, Apep is gathering energy to attack the Heavenly Principles. 2, Apep is collecting energy to, quote, grow. Why would Apep want to grow, you ask? Because we know Apep's dream is to take over Teyvat with her children, and she could use that energy to take over all of Teyvat or grow large enough to even become one with it, or maybe even break the barrier between the two worlds, Conria and Celestia. And guess where the Conrian door is located at? All Apep's gotta do is one good strike to that door and all hell is breaking loose. In my opinion, that's better than attacking them directly, but that's my theory on Apep. Hope you enjoyed, and honestly need to wake her old ass up and ask her questions because I know she knows everything. Okay, I agree with the sense that I do think Apep is more important to the larger story. Because one, primordial dragon. And two, primordial dragon that I agree has been here since day one. Which, other than possibly Dvalin and maybe Azdaha, only one. Only thing is, Apep is really smart. Dvalin, to my knowledge, has never communicated directly, right? We've never heard Dvalin speak, have we? I don't think so. And I think we might have heard Azdaha speak, but I can't remember. But it seems like Apep, out of all three of them, is definitely the most knowledgeable. Wait, have we? When did Dvalin speak? He does speak to Venti. He talks to Venti after the fight. But do we hear that as a player, or do we only hear that from Venti's perspective? Talks to Venti after the fight. Pretty sure he talks to us when we go up. Okay, I'm still gonna stand by the fact that Apep seems the smartest because they say the most things. Okay, but good to know. Then they can speak. But Apep definitely feels like the smartest because, to our knowledge at least, we don't have any information to know. Like, I don't think there's anything that gives us a sign that Dvalin tried to, like, dive into forbidden knowledge themselves in any way and go against Celestia. At least I don't think there's anything. There could be, but, like, I don't think there's anything crazy. Like, Apep was definitely going for it. And same with Azdaha. Though, do we know why Azdaha is crazy? Is it because of erosion? He tells us at the end of Monza, he says that the power of the Animo Archon when Venti gives him magical stuff. Erosion, yeah. The only thing that's so interesting, chat, is that when you really go back to that first scene with Dvalin, it really does look like what happened with, like, Farina / Fulsalor with giving up the Gnosis power to the, like, dragon. But we know that didn't happen because the Animo vision that Skara gets does not have the, like, talons on it. Which would be a signifier that it came from a dragon. So we know that Venti still has the Venti still has the Gnosis power, or like at least like the Gnosis of Animo, which is in the hands of the girlies. Wait a minute. Hold on. How the hell are how is Celestia going, or not Celestia, how are the Fatui going to use all the Gnosis if one of them's gone? Like, I know that they gave the Gnosis to Arlecchino, but does the Gnosis even have any power? If the Archon gave the authority back? I think they want the remains. Authority over the land. But Nuvalet has all the power. But like, let's say they get on the Gnosis and they want to bring back the third Descender. I would assume. Actually, wait. No, you're right. The Gnosis is, but the thing is, okay, wait. This is weird. Isn't it both? It's the remains of the Descender, but it's also the same power of the dragons, right? Isn't it all both? Okay, now it's giving me the vibe that the third Descender was Nubelung. Somehow. Because if it's both Descender and dragon power, but it's not power of the current dragons, do you know what I mean? And Nubelung was the king of all dragons. Theoretically, the king of all dragons would also represent all the elements. You know what I mean? Like, if we're thinking about this in a chemistry kind of way, of like all the elements being like one would exist within the King of Dragons, which is most likely represented primordial power in general, then that means that the third descender had to be Nubalan. Huh. My personal Star Wars theory is that Stefen is a history of fictionology. That'd be cool. AKA the Omni element, yeah. We gave the power in the destruction of this seat, not the Gnosis return. Yeah, but when Falsalor like gives up, like dies, she like gives the like authority of like Hydro back to Nouvelette, which is why he's even able to like cleanse the sin. You know what? Chat, remind me to come back to this if we get to the end and we still have time. We'll talk more about it because this is interesting. We might need to bring out the paint. Hold on, I kind of like this theory a little. Can't lie. Even though it's a little crazy. My theory is that the Trailblazer is the Aeon of finality. Oh, okay, Rhett. Oh, okay. Just a casual Aeon walking. Okay. We're an Aeon, but we couldn't control the Stellaron within us. It all begins and ends with us. We are Terminus. We are the one constant variable throughout the script, and Elio is our follower, possibly Emanator, who ensures that the script will come true. So in my opinion, we are the mastermind. You may ask why. Let me tell you. The Trailblazer's connections to all other paths and the ability to actually wield the power doesn't stem from Akavili, but from finality. As the final and all-encompassing path, the Trailblaze is merely a way for us to find the connection to other paths again. Also a reason why we had to team up with the Astro Express, but the rest stems from finality. If we look at Terminus, it's the end of all other aeons and paths, and it seems logical that the end of all, the one thing that outpowers it all, should also be able to wield the power of all. But wait a minute, finality is not the end of all, since another finality will follow, and all aeons, all life, everything in the universe will originate from the last finality, which also once again explains why we are able to grasp the power of each path. It originates from us. This could be interpreted as a new body within new memories, which kind of fits within the second point I'll make. Ever asked why our memories had to be erased? Because as the Aeon of Finality, we already reached the end and exploited all possibilities and don't have the chance to learn / wield new power and start everything over. Through the memory loss, a reset of ourselves, we get a new chance, a possibility of grasping new ways to handle whatever awaits us at the end of the journey, our final stopping point. And whatever awaits us, we need the power of all other paths and support of powerful allies throughout the universe, which the Aeon of Finality wouldn't be able to accomplish anymore. It already finished its journey, so a reset was necessary as we ourselves reached our end, our finality. The only thing that makes me not agree with this is that theoretically, like, if our memory loss is tied to this idea of finality, of restarting and going again, similar to like Genshin restarts, why does Kafka and them know? Like, that would mean that there are people that exist through finality, which I find hard to believe. Like, it seems like there are other people like Kafka and even like possibly, I feel like even Akron might be not fully telling the truth, that have like met and know our previous self, but like don't give us the info. Personally, I think whatever the Trailblazer is whatever also Aether and Lumine are. But I also believe that finality isn't the most powerful thing in this universe, because when you look into the lore of the preservation, there was a giant split at the beginning to like shield the world from like Dusk Leviathans and like split the universe in a way. And on top of that, we still, it's gonna happen, have Welt lore and Void Archives lore that we'll have to eventually get into, which brings in the idea of sky people, and like sky people haven't even truly fully been explored in Honkai Impact 3rd beyond APHO. Like there's info, but it's still so limited. And that seems like an ending that goes even beyond finality and links back to the idea of Honkai. So I think there's still more beyond. And I think this was kind of hinted at when we talked about in the most recent Star Rail lore, where Acheron talks about the cosmology and says that Star Rail has multiple worlds in which multiple versions of the current cast exist. And that gives me the idea that... Let me pull up the paint. I think that was a really important point. That gives me the idea that if we were to look at the cosmology, the idea is that Star Rail is like this, and the world of HI3, the bubble universes, whatever, exist within this world along with the world of Genshin. I cannot. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Where, like, let's say this is the... Actually, I'll change the color. Let's say this is the Astral Express. And this is the silver track. Like, that is the vibe that I'm getting. Like, we're possibly even more zoomed out. And the thing is I think possibly what exists outside of this are the sky people and what are they called? Oh my god. Like, wait. Yeah, like the sky people, like Dusk Leviathans, Origins, and the beginning and the end, like the true beginning and end. Like the idea of above, the idea of heaven. I think Himiko kind of briefly talks about this, like about what is above the imaginary tree. There's like small mentions of this idea of something like beyond and over it. Can we change the music? No, I need the vibey music, plus it won't get copyrighted. Finality isn't the end of everything. All things will originate from there and move on to the next finality. But the thing is you have to remember that we are living within perspectives of knowledge. And if this is the idea, if this is the true cosmology, people, this is a person within this world who's like, finality is the end of all. But then it's like, or is finality just the end and beginning of this layer? Thinking of it as like an onion, right? Like, for all we know, there's like more of this. There's more, even more like multiverses, right? That have like their own HI3s, their own Genshins, yada, yada, yada. And also with the new rumors that there's like a new MMO, RPG, or MMO that's being cooked by Hoyo, I wouldn't be surprised if this MMO takes place on the higher layer, even higher layer. Where the MMO is this layer of world, in this onion layer of like the Dusk Leviathan, the Sky People, like all that kind of stuff. Terminus means the last station. Oh, that's very interesting. But also, we also gained knowledge that like we can create new track and although we can run out of fuel, we can gain fuel if we do things correctly. Meaning theoretically, this could go on forever and loop. Like, Akavili could also represent the idea of infinite potential. If you think about it. Because, like, what's stopping them? What's stopping them from just, like, looping the silver track? I mean, there might be rules against it. We don't really understand it. There's not a ton of info on the Astral Express or even how it operates, why it operates, how it works, what it's made out of. But, you know, there's that idea too. Honkai Star Rail. The Stellaron Hunters are super mysterious and powerful. Stellaron Hunters aren't just bad guys. They work for godlike beings called Aeons who control the universe. Well, we know they work for the Aeon. Well, Aeon, possibly finality. Not possibly, they're under finality. Their job is to keep everything in balance by taking care of these Stellarons that can mess everything up. These are some clues in the game that hint at this. For example, there are old stories about Stellarons destroyed whole civilizations. The hunters stop that from happening again. Also, Kafka, one of the hunters, says stuff like keeping balance, stopping the end of everything. Sounds important, right? Plus, the hunters sometimes work with or fight against the Astral Express crew. They both want to protect the universe, but in different ways. Their leader, Elio, can see the future. He has to choose the right path to keep the universe safe. The Stellaron Hunters are actually like guardians working for the Aeons. They make sure Stellarons don't mess up the universe. You know what's interesting, chat? Elio is very similar, I guess, to Dane's brother, the Visionary, right? Watch them be variants of each other. There has to be a reason why we can wield the power of all paths and finality being the origin and end of everything. But the only thing is, though, which I think is interesting, is the Stellaron Hunters technically are working against finality, or are they ensuring it by the script? Like, because we are kind of going against the Stellarons and stopping Stellarons from going out of control. I mean, obviously the Stellarons are coming from somewhere. Personally, if you guys want to know my theory, which I was cooking up, I think Stellarons are Herrscher cores in a different, like a different code. And I think, like, the cocoon of finality, even though I've never gotten into this lore in Honkai Impact 3rd, so I don't know enough about it to yap about it, but I think there must be something similar to that in this universe that's, like, maybe out of whack and out of control, and it's just yeeting Herrscher cores everywhere, because then I feel like that would make sense if it's a Herrscher core, why Welt had the ability to kind of control it to some degree. Being like with his like his divine key, like, because it's like similar energy, and then that would also explain why the Stellaron is so similar to Honkai energy to some degree. So yeah, Kafka basically, Elio said that all paths lead to fighting Nanook. Yes. A cute little detail I noticed during Penacony about Aventurine, which some might have missed. In the cutscene where he returns his sister's necklace, oh my god, I always suck at saying this name, Kavash mentions how he did it due to his intellect, while his sister tells him it's his luck granted to him by the goddess. And later, when he's a teen adult, he also calls it luck as well. Kakavasha. Kakavasha. Hopefully. He also calls it his luck as well, most likely no longer recognizing it as intellect being made to believe he is smart and instead just lucky. And while unsure that most of the 10 Stonehearts think at minimum, Ratio is seemingly the only one to recognize Aventurine's true intellect, even if he doesn't really say it. Since we know that Ratio's really picky about who he tolerates, and aside from sighing increasingly and calling Aventurine the damn gambler, he shows some genuine, if a bit of aloof respect towards Aventurine, showcasing that no matter Aventurine's bravado and what he may believe about his intellect, Ratio appreciates it, though I doubt Ratio would admit that. So wait, are you just saying, is this like a very like long-winded way of saying that Aventurine is smart? I don't know, like I don't think Aventurine's like dumb. Like I think Aventurine knows what they're doing, but I do think there is a bit of crutch on the luck thing. Like the idea of that. And I think that's a combination of possibly the goddess thing plus the Stoneheart thing. Like it's kind of both maybe merged. Because we did find out that all the 10 Stonehearts have things that they're really good at. And like one is like desires, like understanding other people's desires. One was reading thoughts, right? So wait, what is Aventurine's then? Is it just luck? Like, I don't think he's dumb. Do I think he could like be a Genius Society Herta level member? No. I also think that maybe Ratio appreciates more Aventurine's boldness and like lack of care, because Ratio operates sometimes in that way as well. Like Ratio's very bold, very forward, very upfront, and I think Aventurine is the same way. I also think they just also smash, so yeah. Oh, it's transforming. Wait, oh, was that how it was directly linked? So Aventurine's is really just power. He becomes stronger, like powerful in a way. Okay. Everybody gets freaky. What is this theory? Like, is this what does this mean? That the theory is that everyone's fucking? I'm so confused. They can't all transform. Topaz confirms that they can't. Ooh, I'm so down for the next planet info because I have not looked into this. The story of the next planet, is it Amphoreus or Amphoreus, will likely have parallels to the story of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Because of Amphoreus's, there are 3 paths. Oh yeah, that was really interesting, the 3 paths. The next path the Trailblazer could be is abundance because it's an eternal land. What path is associated with endlessness is abundance and immortality. So Luocha could be getting a bigger role. He says his abilities are the power of abundance, and his story isn't finished yet. Do we know anything on this planet beyond that mention? Oh my god, we do. Eternal Land. Black Swan planet that Akavili never reached. Planet is virtually unknown, hidden away from outside observation, and can only be seen through the light from the mirrors in the Garden of Recollection. It is also fettered. This is a very interesting word. Fettered means restrained, chained, or manacled. It's giving Sunday. It's something related to Sunday. Because Sunday was like chained up. By 3 different paths, leaving its destiny uncertain. Which is interesting too, because Sunday's destiny is uncertain as well at the ending. So he kind of is almost theoretically a mirror to the planet itself. Oh my god, there's information from the Cosmology event. During the Cosmology event, the board encounter for Sparkle mentions her disguising herself as a Smarty Club 888 Miss Philosophy professor, parodying the Genius Society. She claims herself to be the divine Mecca in charge of screenwriting in ancient times at Amphoreus, and invites the Trailblazer to participate in a theoretical show. It's giving, okay, aha. I feel like aha then is one of the paths, like elation. So then maybe this will be dealing with, well, you know what? That makes sense with Sampo. Like, we kind of got a little bit of tea on Sampo gaining a mask, so the masked fools are most likely a huge part then of this next arc. And after leaving Penacony, Weld considers traveling to either Luocha or Melestina as the Astro Express was dangerously low on fuel. We would never have to worry about running out of fuel again if we went to this planet. Why? Like what about this planet would allow endless amounts of fuel to the Astral Express? That's interesting. I feel like we don't really understand the Astral Express enough. I know that Akavili never discovered it, but like, there's something about it, obviously, that like Akavili, like the train harvests something specific, which is what? The idea of trailblazing, right? It's kind of like what I said earlier about Fontaine. And like justice, like it's the same thing, but a different font. Like they use the idea of justice to power the scale. So that means that this planet is an endless source of trailblaze. So like an idea of infinite adventure. Like it has to be the idea of infinity involved in this, because the only way there will never be an issue of fuel means infinite something. Imaginary energy has to be more with Black Swan too, because how is she always there at the right time? Are we talking about Amphora? Yes, we're talking about that. Okay, hold on. Get out the paint. Everybody get your lore hats on. We're gonna figure this out. Okay. Ampharos. Number one thing. Someone find out if this word has any meaning. Get your lore hats on. Someone find out if this word, the planet's name, has a specific meaning. Number two, we have Garden of Recollection. That's a Pokemon? Oh, Amphoreus? Did I spell it wrong? I took Davy's spelling. A-M-P-H-O. Wait, what did I put? A-M-P-H-O. I did spell it wrong. Hold on. A-M-P-H-O-R-E-U-S. Oh, wait. It's a Greek word, right? Which is why we thought it was related to ratio. The word comes from Latin, which came from Greek, meaning a jar with two handles. Definition: a jar or vase of a type of characterized or large oval egg-shaped body, cylindrical neck, two handles rising nearly the level of the orifice. It's giving STD. Okay. It is not the word gonorrhea, y'all. Wait. Sparkle mentions this in Cosmology, but Sparkle also at the end of her trailer has a Greek world in one of the TVs, right?
Were you scared?
Wait, where's the TVs? Is that in this trailer, chat? Is it this one, or is it a different one, or is it the Myriad? No, I think it's the Myriad trailer. This one. It's right next to her, too. This world right here. And I swear she's holding a mirror. Is she holding a mirror? The way her hair is covering it, that motherfucker.
Who's
It's right there behind her, chat.
the real spark?
Hold on. It's time to chop her hair off, for real. Wish isn't working again? Fuck! I literally told myself to turn this thing on before stream. Every time. Literally every time. I literally told myself as I was setting up stream stuff, I was like, make sure to turn this on. Can I zoom in? Honestly, you really can't tell. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this statue is a real statue in real life pulled from somewhere. Someone search up like iconic Greek statues and see if you can find anything posed similarly. Looks like a fan. The Justice Court one? I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. The only thing is, though, is that she's not, she doesn't have a sword. Or the scale. Like, you definitely don't see either of those things. We're going to Fontaine. She's holding a scale? I do not see that. Hair is giving official, please. Anyways, if anyone has any theories on this, but I do think this must be that world. But wait, then again, if that is the world we're going to, that this has got to be like, this has to be the plan, right? Like the future plans of the game? Because we have this, we have the space station for her to hear. We have this world. She's in Penacony currently. The only thing that isn't here is the Xianzhou. That's the only thing. I don't see anything that represents the Xianzhou. So maybe not. Yeah, and you're right, there's nothing that represents Belobog either. It's a Demeter, I almost said Dementor. Demeter statue? Demeter. Great god. Huh. Let me look up statue. Hopefully we don't get titty. That sometimes happens. The only thing is, though, is in all of these, there's like always like, it seems like wheat. Like, and I feel like I don't know if we see the wheat in that photo. The SipSipStefen one is pretty spot on. Oh, is there one in the Discord? Oh, this does look similar, especially the way the hands are posed. Demeter, thank you. So wait, is this a Demeter statue? These ones here? Honestly, Seth, it is the sleigh. It is the sleigh emote. Hold on, let me pull up just to side by side it. It's similar. The only thing is, though, is it looks like the hand on the bottom, chat, is like this. Like, it's not like this, it's down. That's the only thing I'm really noticing. But it is similar. Very similar. There's probably meaning to the posing of the hands, too, because I know in, like, I think it's Hinduism, when it comes to, like, god hand placement, they usually mean something. Looks like the Stoneheart too, the official looking one. What? Okay. What is that one called? I'm going to put it here in the possibility. God of Seasons. God of Fertility. What else did we want to include? We thought that there might be a connection to Aha due to Sparkle knowing about this place. Maybe also a connection to Sampo because of the new mask. Beauty? Wait, why do we think beauty? Because of the mirror? The idea of a mirror? And Black Swan possibly being a mirror holder? Beauty, mirror, mirror maidens, Black Swan. Obviously, this has to deal with Black Swan lore. Because, let's be so real, Black Swan is not doing this for us. Like, there is something that we don't know about Black Swan that is directly connected with here and learning something, because although she likes us, I think she also has something that she's interested in or needs from this place that she obviously can't get without us. Mirror Maidens, which... Okay, wait, so we kind of have possibly 3 paths already. Like, you have the idea of beauty. We have the idea of Aha with, fuck, what's it called? What's Aha's path called again? It's not your edition, it's, oh, I forgot. Elation, yes, Elation. And then you have, obviously, the Remembrance from... the Garden of Recollection. And there's the idea of light. Like, there's something special about the, like, light that allows to, like, see something not hidden. I am Elation. Also, did the music stop? Black Swan suddenly appears, interrupt conversation. Wait, trivia? Tell me, oh Muse, the name of the achievement is for when you decide on the next stop. which is a quote from Odyssey, one of two major Greek epic poems. Oh, we're reading this. Maybe the poem is a hint? It's super long? Like, how long? It's so long? What is the... Wait, let's just do what you do in high school. Summary. 10 years have passed since the fall of Troy. The Greek hero, Odysseus, still has not returned to his kingdom. A large and rowdy mob of suitors who have overrun the palace and pillaged the land continue to court his wife. Not everyone trying to fuck his wife. She remains faithful. Odysseus' son, who wants to desperately throw them out, but does not have the confidence or experience to fight them. One of the suitors plans to assassinate the prince, eliminating the only opposition. Can I get, like, the meaning? Like, what's the meaning? What's the hidden message? Idea of fate, retribution, and the forces of civilization versus savagery. Not fucking fate and retribution being in this again. Fate, which is finality. Retribution comes up a lot in Genshin. There's gotta be a Stellaron here then. It's giving Stellaron. Obviously, there's always one in every major plot. The Stellaron has to be what's the whole, like, forces of, like of savagery. Is it one of Black Swan's lines, retribution? Oh my god, isn't it when she ults? Thank you, Jack, for the follow. Black Swan voice lines. Holds one. No, hers is beneath the silent waters, lies an endless abyss. Retribution will find you is her attack. Or when hit by an attack. Destiny's course is becoming apparent. Huh. Okay, wait. What does she say about Sparkle? Like, does she have any hints in her own lore? All of her own lore is just about becoming a, like, mnemonic entity. Wait. Through the course of one's existence, only a scant number of impactful memories, pain, joy, sorrow can be harvested. The Garden of Recollection was conceived with the preservation of such memories in mind, yet it is immune to the corporation's endeavor to openly profit from it. I don't know. I don't know what Black Swan wants. I feel like it's gotta be the mirror and the beauty. Does Luocha say it? Oh, Luocha's lines? Why, do you guys think this is related to the abundance? Oh yeah, because it's like, it's like eternal or whatever, right? Abyss flower bloom. Eternal sleep is not the end. The dead will return. I don't see anything about retribution. Why does he say another journey with you to Don Hung in both versions? When he's added to a team with the Don Hung. They were together, main story. Oh, true, with Su Shang. It's a reference to that. Wait, I have long heard that the Xianzhou can preserve their beauty and have found that to be true. However, they keep this secret by hiding in a corner of the galaxy, like sitting on a mountain of wealth without spending it. What a shame. Is this about being like is this about the whole long life species thing? Like the whole immortality thing? The business is done? He refers to the coffin as the business is done? So wait, there's someone in it? Who did he kill? Like, literally, who's in the coffin? Anyways, I do think... I think the most likely 3 paths are going to be beauty, remembrance, and elation. Maybe there was some sort of scheme between Aha and Adrila or Adelia or something. And like, you know, I know for a fact this somehow deals with March. I don't know how, but March is involved. If remembrance is involved, March is involved. There is relations between elation and the remembrance. She always is. Amphoreus refers to ancient Greek unit of liquid measure, reckoned as the equivalent to about 9 gallons. It also is a reference to a Greek jar, which when Romanized is written. The Eternal Land may refer to the nickname of a city in Rome, the Eternal City. Oh. I feel like maybe 3.0 might come out with a new game mode, like a major new game mode, like something that's infinitely repeatable. I don't like, kind of like Simulated Universe, but like obviously not the exact same. Anyways, back to our theories. Samsara plot. Do you know what was like kind of like crazy, but I didn't want to say it? Would you like me to say a copium theory? what if it's the Genshin planet and like frozen in time or something? Because we know that the ancient world was described as like the Roman and Greek theme. And like, I think it's interesting that it's hidden. Like it's been hidden from like everywhere. Who knows? Could be. Do you see the note that Sparkle wrote about Black Swan? It was a dialogue option, hinted that there was something with the two paths. It's not a major planet, just them trying to open for a collab. I mean, listen, they bring us to the old Genshin world, and then they give us the official collab, which is the Stoneheart. Who's there? Kind of makes sense. 1 + 1 = 2. All right, let's keep going. What was the last one that I did? This one I did. I will star you because that literally gave us a deep dive. Cooking up this amazing theory loved by all, and it's here. Oh God. Hear me out. Boot Hill's the imaginary tree. Bitch, what? He's just a walking imaginary tree? Boot Hill being the imaginary tree isn't a theory because it's actually a fact. Okay, we're starting confident. Honestly, everyone should believe me on this because I know what I'm talking about. Regardless, the idea is that Boot Hill is the tree, and the tree chose a form that would be at least understood by everyone and gave a lot of bullshit excuses for why the form is the way it is. The colors are similar. Like, look in the drip art, it's pretty much the same colors, and his hair is white. You know, the imaginary tree is white too, but clearly he had to tone it down because the imaginary tree is blinding, and he's just really hot and had to keep the balance. So what he claims is that the Synthesia beacon was tankered with. Now, me personally, I strongly disagree because get this, what if the imaginary tree just cannot be some massive bitch? Because that gets him enemies, and I hear it, but IPC. Well, everyone says fuck the IPC, so that's like not even in the same, so don't focus on that part. Anyways, it's also possible that the imaginary tree itself just cannot swear because it could cause it to become a common language to everyone in the universe, and that could be a problem because some universes won't hold the swear words and other universes do. Okay, we're just gonna, I don't even know what to say. We're just gonna move on. Oh, a mod. Okay, hopefully this isn't as crazy. Amelty says the 6 Pygmies and the Night Mother. Before I start, I'm positive Dane, Rindodier, Verd, and I always fuck up these names, are correct. But Certology and Rear could be iffy, so I'm all ears for corrections. My biggest takeaway from this theory is who Haropatier might be. Deformed Pygmy equals Dane, Volume 5. There was one Pygmy who did not join the discussion. This is not because he was not evil, but because the guilt of betraying his savior overcame his wicked nature. This Pygmy is the odd one out of 6. He is also forced to witness his brethren undergo a curse. Sounds pretty similar to Dane. Also, they called him deformed. And his arm is fucked up from a curse as well. So that's why I think it's the deformed Pygmy, because he actually has like a visual indicator on his arm. I've agreed with this theory of it being Dane. Shrunken Pygmy is Rindodier. I wanted to see my garden, but somehow got lost. Gardens can be used to represent life, and who brings things to life? Gold. Gardening is also a big analogy, often described Rindodier. In the 2.3 main event, Albedo talks about 3 roses. Hem, Albedo 2, and Durin, and a gardener, Rhindodier. Note, Rhine's Hexenzirkel name is a flower that is not of this world. Rhindodier also might be linked to the person that brought the Intevats to Conria, in my opinion. Because the Intevat, isn't it like directly related to like Chemia? Hold on. National flower of Conria, flower Lumine wears. Traveler grows it in their homeland. It would only last 2 weeks before wilting, but if you were to pluck one and take it out of Conria, the petals would stop growing and turn hard. 4 white, 1 light blue. Huh. Okay. I believe these next Pygmies are supposed to be ironic names. The Fool Pygmy, described as the wise by Dane, wisdom to the foolish. I'd like to note that if we take this into account, it is reasonable for the sinner to be Piero. His Chinese alias translates to the clown, and by extension, the fool, along with his EN title being the jester. Jesters are also referred to as fools. A quote from Piero during a winter's night lazo: "We alone are wise to the virtue in those acts of folly." Foolish behavior. Also, wasn't like all of Sumeru the idea of wisdom bringing the fool? I swear that was like a huge plot line, which is like the idea of like foolish wisdom. Okay. The blind pygmy Verd, bringing sight to the blind. Sight and to see is pretty self-explanatory as he is a visionary. Fun fact, Verd Folnir is the prophet who introduces Dane in his drip marketing all the way back in 2020. Carefree Pygmy is Sertology. His title is the foul, taking emotion into account, a foul mood, angry or violent, in contrast to being carefree, not being worried about anything. Timid Pygmy Rear, courage to the timid. I couldn't find a lot to back up Rear, but I say it takes a lot of courage to be an Avenger. Well, also it goes with the idea of opposites being courage and timid. Copium, the Night Mother, equals the Abyss. Dane mentions that the sinners couldn't resist the Abyss. So I believe the Night Mother isn't a person, but an entity, and we will be reunited. Call of the Abyss. It is described as an ominous temptation that lures the brave and foolish alike. Note that we got a Pale Princess book from Lisa, and who wanted to steal it? The Abyss Order. So the 6 Pygmies are 5 sinners plus Dane, and the Night Mother is the Abyss. Or like maybe like the Abyss, or like, you know, the ruler. Like the idea of the Abyss is a place, right? So the Night Mother is kind of like the ruler of that place, it seems. I feel like this is most likely the truth. Before, I used to think that the other Pygmies were Archons because of the Archon demon names, and like I used to think that the Shrunken Pygmy, for instance, was Nahida, but I could never understand where the other ones came from, and it never added up because, like, with Dane being 1 Pygmy, there were only 5, but there are 7 Archons, and I was like, okay, cool, one of the Archons that got yeeted might have been Farina, because Farina, like, technically there are 6 now, so maybe another one won't survive. But I don't know, it didn't really add up. So I feel like this feels more likely. But if that's the case, then the 6 Pygmies are the reason why the 3rd descender dies. Because in the story, they basically, I think, create the Gnosis. But then that again leads me to the idea that the 3rd descender's Lumine, based on the deformed Pygmy being Dane again. Meaning Lumine's dead. My theory is that Firefly and Nanook are related. Both have silver hair. Nanook emerged after the propagation died, after his planet was shattered. This might indicate that Stellaron Hunters existed before Nanook. Like, I feel like there's something there, especially with the whole propagation thing. But, like, you'll need to cook more. It's like too weak of a tie. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure there's like hundreds of shattered planets in the grand scheme of how large Star Wars universe is. I haven't seen this anywhere, so my slightly cracked theory, sorry chat, let me just move this, is that I think the missing piece of Shu or part of it might be in Luocha's box. I've done Googling and everyone agrees Shu clearly had a massive influence on whatever happened exactly to affect Blade and turn him immortal. Shu is in the name of one of his abilities after all, and in general it's believed that Bailu is a reincarnation of Bai Hung. And Don Feng is even mentioned to be believed to have restored reproductive capacity to Vidyara. But what's going on with Luocha? We know so little. His abilities are clearly abundance related, more so than simply being chosen, but I don't think he's an emanator. But Shu was an animator and started to be in a box and is a tree abomination thing. Where the ties are there further for Otto and calling Koslan of Honkai Star Rail, I don't know, only that she still be gone in some capacity based on Acheron similarly being alone, not even with a distant ancestry. I really haven't seen anyone talk about it from this common theory, then feel free to boo me. Also, notable that he mentions Aeons can be killed, and what's the closest thing known to an Aeon, an Emanator? Maybe Shu is Luocha's path to reaching and killing Yaoshi. I think we have a slight idea of what's in the coffin, because I'm pretty sure, doesn't Luocha say in that whole quest line with Jing Liu that, like, he will show the marshal, like the highest person, like he says it's an answer to something. Like I swear he says it like solves a problem or like something, like the coffin, but that he needs to show it to like everyone. It's in that Jing Liu quest line. In memories, Shui and Hanya, of Shui and Hanya, Shu took the form of a strange tree with 1,000 faces, whose branches penetrated deep into the earth. Why don't I know anything about this person? It fought Ten Zhao, the Arbiter General. Oh, when you think, oh, and then you think it's related because when he uses his ultimate, it's branches coming out of the coffin in a way, like roots. And like the coffin is like the source. Wait, that's interesting. Abyss flower. Shu is missing and it matches up thematically. So wait, who is Shu? Why don't I know any of this lore? I actually don't know anything of this because like the Xianzhou is the one I know the least about. Emanator of the Abundance and leader of the Denzian. They've come into conflict with the Xianzhou. Oh, so they're an emanator. Sometime after the destruction of Muldrasil, I've heard this world before too. Okay, there's so much to this. Shu brought the dead planet back to life? Wait, they brought a dead planet? That's even possible? And then establishes the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Oh my god. Emanators are insane. Do you guys think the Emanators are more powerful than an Archon? I feel like they probably are. They're clearly powerful, which is why I think they could fill the checkboxes of what's in Luocha's box. Shu disappears, no records of remains, according to Jinglu. Jinglu, be serious. According to the Ten Lords Commission, Shu may be imprisoned in the Shackling prison. Wait! I'm on Reddit for anyone that wants to know. Hold on. I'm not gonna say where we're going in 2.4, but oh, so they have the box in the prison. At the bottom level, the box is there that has them in it. Oh my god, we're gonna fucking open it and it's gonna be like empty and we're gonna be like gagged. My question is, like, what brings us back to the Xianzhou? Because I was assuming that at the ending of this patch, we were going to have, like, the lead going into, like, what the fuck is calling us back there? But I guess maybe it'll literally be at the start of 2.4. Schrodinger's box? Yeah, it kind of gives that vibe. No, it's not the coffin. They say it's a box. So they must have a box that they assume this is it, but like maybe it's not. Or like something happened. I don't know, man. How did they put them in a box? Apparently it was in the criminal directory. This is so interesting. Isn't Luocha arrested? Luocha is arrested, but I don't think they're in the Shackling prison. They said that they were gonna bring them to another ship or something. This definitely might be the, like, this could definitely be the lead though for 2.4, or honestly, I don't even know if it's a lead. I feel like 2.4 in the Xianzhou might be a whole, we're visiting and we stumble into a situation. I don't know. What's crazy is like the Arbiter General chat that we talk about, Fei Xiao is directly connected to some of the Genshin lore that's like connected to Star Rail 2. So I'm like, how many things are we dealing with at once? Because my brain can't deal with it. This one's really good. Low-key, they might have won. They cooked with that. Genshin Impact, the premise behind the Loom of Fate, or the ability to weave new ley lines into being, was something that Raiden had already discovered and mastered long before the Abyss. Makoto, with the help of A, waved a new ley line into Teyvat and formed the tree. No one except Raiden, Traveler, and Paimon, who were witnesses, remember that the Sakura tree did not exist. It was interjected into Inuzuma's collective conscious as something that had always been there. The ability to defy fate, weaving dreams into reality, and the alteration of memories of others to perceive the new things as something that already existed is probably part of the reason Makoto was killed in the Cataclysm. Makoto was killed on purpose because she grasped some knowledge on how to break free of the shackles of the heavenly principle. The sinners in the Abyss covet a power that had already been mastered by one of the original 7. Isn't this an Ashikai's video? I haven't watched it. Okay. We know this was done through the power of Istaroth, though. So it could be that, for all we know, we don't really understand this whole Loom of Fate and how it was created. We only know one part of it, which is the fact that they needed Kari Bear to sacrifice themselves for it, but we don't know all of the nuts and bolts and pieces, and for all we know, Istaroth could very much be powering this thing. And Istaroth is obviously time related, so for all we know, Istaroth is hooked up into a machine right now that's sucking her powers, or their powers, I don't even know if we know their gender, and like could be powering the Loom of Fate. Like, they are missing. So I feel like we don't know. Like, to say Makoto mastered it, I feel like is a bit of a stretch. Like, they needed Istaroth to do it. They just worked with them. Their statue, theoretically, is in Inazuma. We think it's her. Which I still believe is the Welkin Moon. Which I still believe is also Black Swan. The theory that I'm here to tell you about is Sunday as a Stellaron Hunter. Oh, you literally put this in while we were on stream. Well, to begin with, Elio sends a letter of invitation to Sunday on a mission. I do remember that, giving him context and telling him this story. Theory comes from the fact that Sunday, like all the other hunters, is no longer tied to anything, and Elio has already described his destiny. So that is why he invites him to join the Stellaron Hunters. In short, there's a note in game, don't remember the location, I do, it's in Dreamflux Reef, that is some kind of poem that people say could be from Elio addressed to Sunday, along with a... Ooh. Also, the fact that Sunday's boss in the first beta was placed in the Stellaron Hunter section in the archive. Ah! We can see at the end letter, the name of the writer, Cecile, is a reference to a video game, Ghost Tricks. MC's name is Cecile. They have the same name in CNR, a black cat with yellow eyes and a red scarf, who changes the fate of others by reversing time, which goes along with finality. In the Kafka trailer, Elio appears as a black cat with yellow eyes and blue scarf. So this Cecile is Elio, and from here comes a huge well-known theory about Sunday as a Stellaron Hunter. So what path would Sunday be? Wait, what? Don't we have a Sunday light cone? Hold on. What light cone path was that light cone? Was it Harmony? It was like a 4-star one, right? Hold on. Is the... No, that's not For Tomorrow's Journey. Concert for 2? Oh, wait, no, that's the old one. It's erudition? Wait, it's erudition? Where is it? Oh, after the Charmony fall. Oh, this is in the game, right? Like we can see this in game right now, right? Chad? Like this isn't a leak anymore, right? Do Lycons have lore? Oh my god, with the gramophone! Which is also in Kafka's. Which could have been a hint at the whole, like, Stellaron Hunter thing. Do you think that this Lycon gives us a hint of what he does? Increase break effect after the wearer uses ultimate, increase speed? Ooh, so like an erudition break unit? That would be cool. I would pull. I wonder what his path, like, I wonder what his element will be. More characters he hits equals more break damage. He'll probably have like super break in his kit or something too. Ice or imaginary? Wait, what do you guys want? What do you guys want? If you could choose the element for Sunday, which one would you guys want? He can't be quantum, he's not a woman. Sorry, chat. It's not allowed. Ice? Okay, the only thing though is ice is really bad for break because it's freeze. And if he's a break unit, unless he like does something with freeze, I feel like that's gonna be weird. Hold on. Cause like the break effect is stronger on certain units. Like weakness break scaling, like there's a reason they've chosen physical and fire. And that's because physical and fire have the 2x level multiplier on break. Where ice only has 1. Ooh, wind. Wind has 1.5. That's only regular break, super break, it doesn't matter. Do we have super break calculation here? Oh my god, we do. Level multiplier. What? Toughness reduction. Break effect, super break damage increase. So this doesn't. So this is when you deplete the bar the first time. But then when you're super breaking, oh, so like there's no 2 in front here. Like it doesn't take that into account. There's an imaginary woman, so there could be a quantum man? What do you mean? I thought there's always been an imaginary woman. No, we know that like we've had that, but we're just saying with quantum, there's none. Like we've had an imaginary woman since Yukong. Like we were never like thinking, oh, this is only men. But quantum has yet to break the woman only thing. Which is why imaginary quantum super break builds are just as strong as physical and fire. Huh. I mean, you're right. They did make imaginary Trailblazer the break unit within prison. So I mean, theoretically, I guess they could with ice do that. And they have an even lower multiplier on the bottom. Do we have an ice dedicated break unit? Well, you have Rame. But not like a damage dealer, right? I don't think so. I mean, I guess you could go hurt to break, but kind of cope. Sunday's giving imaginary vibes unless they redesign him. I feel like it's possible they redesign him. Because, like, I'm gonna be real, his design is pretty lackluster in my opinion right now. Like, yes, he has the cool wing stuff, but his actual outfit's really boring in my opinion. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a different fit. to like signify this change of path, because they also love to do that. Anytime a character has changed paths, they've gotten something new. Trailblazer is pretty boring, but like March got a new fit. Don Hung and Bibber de Lune got a new fit. So theoretically, him going into this new path would maybe give him it. Yeah, no, building Misha break. Actually, does Misha's ult work kind of like a bounce? Hold on. Because it's bounce, doesn't that increase the break damage? Because of how many hits it is? Pretty sure it does. Which is why bounce is so strong with break. Low-key, I kind of want to run then a break effect Misha to see. Asta has it too. Asta has it too, and Imaginary Trailblazer has it on skill. And Welt has bounce, yes. You can still only do one instance of super break. Yeah, I think the reason why bounce is good is because like it hits everyone, or it has a possibility of hitting everybody. So you can kind of super break the whole team. And Sampo. Oh yeah, Sampo's skill is bounce too. Interesting. I mean, it gives turn delay. You know what? Ice is still good for break because it gives turn delay, which means if you're super breaking a unit, like kind of like Ron May, and why she's so strong with break, is because like you get a longer window on your fast units to break more. Like, and with now super break being involved, turn delay is so good because you could just keep hitting them like with a Firefly who's super fast and just keep super breaking on their break. Before super break, turn delay with break was kind of mid because like you didn't want them to be delayed because you want to bring back the toughness bar to break them again. But with the introduction of super break, it did make Ice strong in a different way, non-conventionally. I'm gonna go Ice or Imaginary, honestly, for Sunday Erudition. That's my current theory. I do agree, though, the Stellaron Hunter thing, I think it's too fate-coded to not happen. I'm not good at writing a lot, so here's my take. What if Jade is blessed with veracity, as the IPC almost clearly follows the veracity, and she has a giant snake as giant serpents around Ouroboros? Okay, no, I don't believe this. IPC is definitely along the path of preservation. But Jade relates to Firefly very much in the sense that they both don't agree with their teams. Like, Firefly wants to go against fate and finality. And Jade very clearly seems to also not want to go with the flow with the IPC and has her own motivations. And that's where I think the veracity comes in. Do we have any currently known things with the veracity? We don't. Drinker of worlds, they devour. She kind of does that, right? Like, she devours desire. The black hole with thought, they are an Aeon and a Leviathan at the same time. In the eye of Ouroboros, life is a flickering fragment floating in the sea of the void. Sea of Quantum! And she's a quantum unit. Destined to return to the darkness along with the stars which birthed them. This darkness is within the depths of their mouths. Interesting. Are there any factions of veracity? I don't even think there are. Oh my god, are there really fucking none? That's so interesting. I wonder if now, because we got the new Divergent universe, I wonder if there's more information because of all the new stuff that's been added on veracity, for instance. And some of these other unknowns, like even, you know, Equilibrium, very interesting. I feel like Equilibrium is something that might come into play sometime soon as well. The sea in most cases refers to the nihility and sworn by Acheron in the horizons of existence. It's known Ouroboros has a symbiotic relationship. Yeah, I'm not surprised because I feel like quantum also comes into the idea of the void and black holes, so that makes sense. That they're related somehow. Huh. Okay. Breaking news. Man found in ditch with copium next to him. Twitch streamer, Keemstar impersonator. Oh, we want to get yeeted. Spent 20 minutes trying to draw an outline of a character named Fischl from a game called Genshin Impact before his unfortunate deed in a ditch. It's giving Fischl, said the man in an exclusive interview before the incident. It's literally her. Okay, actual theory. Remember Silver, Navia's bodyguard? He had fancy glasses, right? You know what vibes his fancy glasses are giving? Fancy rich. You know who else is rich? Being a Monopoly. Playing Monopoly Go, guys. Disclaimer, the information provided in this theory is for poops and giggles. It is not intended as a substitute for professional theory, like scroll down for those. Also consult with qualified professional before making any decision based on the content of this theory. Thank you for the Monopoly Go plug, though. It's giving Fischl, like whether you want to admit it or not, though. I believe that Sunday's fate will be joining the Stellaron Hunters on... As we know, the mysterious voice told us that he would be spectated from his sister to never see her again. This is most likely the trade Jade is talking about as payment for freeing him, as Robin most likely asked her. Adding to this is the idea that for some reason, Jade had a personal reason for wanting to meet the Hunters. This reason most likely being introducing Sunday, as not only he lost his oath, but his sister too. And we know that every Hunter joining Elio to fulfill a wish just like this, like Blade's death and Firefly's life. Now connecting back to Sunday, we also know that a mysterious letter, whole story, name written, most likely Elio, leads me to believe that he was there to collect something, that being Sunday. But how is Sunday part of the bigger plot? That's what I want to know. Official variant? Oh, Dave, you guys talked about this too? Yeah, no, we're like all bought into it. Chat thinks that they're going to be the stone amethyst. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many more. Okay, wait. We're gonna put a pin here. Okay, I have to choose 3 winners because now this is everything from today. The entries after. Okay, wait. I need 3 winners. Okay, I'm for sure. I already know for sure one that I'm choosing is Ignis. Let me take down these names. Hold on, chat. All right. Ignis is 1. Okay, I need 2 more. I mean, Emeltes was good. This planet one also gave us a lot to talk about. But like, to be fair, it felt like we kind of did all the work. Okay, the Apep growing one from Queen wasn't bad either. I felt like, although, okay, the Lumine and Aether one was good, but I felt like it was hard to follow a little bit. Elio being the Emanator, finality, and everything is a loop. Everything was a loop one was kind of interesting. Like, I never thought of it that way, but I did enjoy it even though it was short. Ooh, and then wait, what else do we have? The Sunday Stellaron run, the first one was really well done too. I feel like the Sunday Stellaron one, like this feels like it's confirmed. Like I felt like I read this and I was like, yeah, that's true. Like that's happening. Might as well start planning. Might as well start saving for Sunday. Boot Hill Imaginary Tree. That one is not. No. 0. I don't know, chat. I feel like the Apep one, although interesting, might be too cope. Okay, chat. Can I get a vote? Do we want everything is a loop theory, or do we want 6 Pygmies and Night Mother theory from MLT? I'll let you guys pick the last one. If one of the mods could put it to a vote. I'll let you guys pick the last one. Those are the two I'm deciding between. I will keep this up, by the way, the Lord Knight. I will keep it up. I put a present on the one I stopped on. And anything that's below it, I will start from on the next Lore Night that we do. I will keep that in mind. I should change the time for this to be every 24 hours because I don't need people putting like entries in here every like couple of hours and clogging this channel. Hold on. Oh, I can only do 6. I'm changing it to 6 then. They're both good. Amalte's was good. Amalte's was good. Amalte's was really well explained. But then also the loop theory, like I had never thought of the loop in that way. Like obviously the loop has always been a thing, but I had never thought of like that moment being like the pivotal loop point. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Hold on, do we need me to do the poll?